Suckless window management. What in the world am I talking about? In today's video, we're going to cover what DWM is, we're going to take a look at my setup, and we're going to do some really cool theme automation. I'm going to pull up a browser and navigate to suckless.org. And there you will find software that sucks less. Well, what does that mean? Well, if you go check their philosophy, they believe in keeping things simple, minimal, and usable. So DWM is their dynamic window manager, which controls the way windows are displayed in my graphical environment. All of their code is very small and efficient, and the functionality of their tools and utilities are very specific to do what they need to do it very well, and nothing more. If you want to extend the functionality of any of their tools and utilities, you apply patches that you can download, and then you recompile your build. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over what DWM is and how I have it set up and configured. When I first log onto my system, I'm greeted with a background wallpaper. In the top right, I have status indicators for CPU temperature, volume, date, time, etc. And in the top left, I have 9 tags. And a tag in DWM is similar to a workspace, a virtual desktop, if you will. And just to the right of the tags is an icon indicating what layout mode I am in. So I'm going to shift to tiled layout, and I'm going to open up 5 windows. Over on the left is my master window, and on the right is my stack. Every time a new window is created, it is added to the top of the stack. So if I add another terminal window, you will see 5 shift over to right to the top of the stack. Close all these out. Another layout that I really like is center master mode. If I open those same 5 windows, now my master window is in the center and my stack is to the left and the right. The beauty of this is that when I create new windows, they're automatically sized to take up the maximum amount of remaining screen real estate. I do have a small gap between my windows, which is a patch that I apply to DWM just for aesthetic purposes. If I want to move window 4 to be my master window, I can easily do that. I can also float windows if I want to and resize them. I can send it back to the stack with just a simple key binding. So there's a lot of functionality here for real efficient use of opening, closing windows, and having everything just sized automatically on the fly. So we talked about having tags in the upper left hand corner. If I want to move window 2 to tag 2, I can easily do that. And if I shift over to tag 2, you can see that that window has now moved to the second tag. I can add additional windows here as well. Flip back and forth between them. Another neat functionality that I have is I can have specific applications open on specific tags. So if I open GIMP, for example, it opens automatically on tag 8. So when I work in GIMP, I want it to use the maximum amount of screen real estate all the time. So I just have it automatically open up on tag 8. Clear these off. So now we're going to take a look at how I configured my status bar in the upper right hand corner of the screen. dwmblocks is the tool that I use to display my status indicators in the top right of my screen. So if I look at my configuration for that, you can see that I have it configured with the certain scripts that I want to run. So on mine, I have a script for showing my updates, my CPU temperature, my volume, my Wi-Fi, and my clock. And let's take a look at my volume script, for example. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. So this is a script I built to control my volume. If I shift my volume, you can see it change in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. If I press my mute button, you can see the icon change to show that it's muted. And this is just the script that I run. It just basically runs a mixer and pulls what the current volume is and if it's on or off, and then it displays the icon and the volume accordingly. So let me hop out of here. I'll just go ahead and run that so you can see it a little better here. Zoom in just a little bit more. So you can see right now my volume's at 60% and it's not muted. If I scroll my volume down, run it again, you can see how it changes. If I mute, now you can see that my icon changes for it to be muted. If I unmute it, run volume again, the icon changes back. So I have scripts running through dwmblocks to display the status in the upper right hand corner. What's really nice about this is I can display anything I would like up there. Anything you can think of that you can script and get output from, you can display it in the upper right hand corner. I really love this functionality. I think it's just fantastic and I have full control over it. Let me pop back here, exit out of here. Now let's take a look at how I have automated theming of my graphical environment. Pull up a color chart. If we take a look here, LightDM logon is the background image that is shown on my logon screen, which it's my wallpaper converted to black and white with a frame border around it. If I open up sxiv, which is an image viewer application, I have it open in a floating window in the center of the screen. And one neat feature of sxiv is that you can apply scripts to key bindings. So if I come and grab a different wallpaper, I can have my entire desktop theme match the colors of the wallpaper. And if I go take a look now at my LightDM logon background, you can see that I used imagemagick to automatically convert it to black and white and then to apply my frame to it. So this is all automated real time, and I can shift between images with just a key binding and update my theme. And if you'll notice when my notifications pop up in the lower right hand corner, that's through a package called Dunst, and I have it configured as well to use the colors that match the theme. So that's really nice functionality. Saves a ton of time to have everything match up color wise, and I really like it. So we're going to take a look at what I did to automate this. First, let's look at the key bindings that I have set up for sxiv. Let me zoom in a little so you can see this better. So I have two key bindings set up. T is what themes my desktop environment. And what that does is it makes a symbolic link to config wallpaper to the background file that I have open. And G will actually open the image that I have selected in GIMP. Let me show you that real quick. So let's say I want to open that in GIMP. Flip over to tag 8, you can see that it automatically opens in GIMP. So once that's done, The set theme is a script that I built. Here, and that runs pywal, which is the package that looks at the background image and then configures the color. Then I set my wallpaper, and then I recompile DWM and dmenu. I kill dunst, run dunst underscore background, which we'll take a look at in a second. That's what controls updating the color of my notifications to match the theme. And then I send myself a notification that the desktop theme has changed. And the last line is what uses imagemagick to create the LightDM background image for my logon screen. So if we take a look at my dunst background script, you can see that it just goes and checks what is the current color value, change it to what the value was set by pywal, and then update the file. So just a couple of scripts automates all this. I have my colors automatically change on the fly to have everything match up with my theme. It's super efficient, and I just love it. Prior to installing and configuring DWM, I was using KDE Plasma on all of my Linux systems, and I decided I just wanted to try something different. And to be honest, after getting this installed and set up and configured, it's hard for me to go back to normal floating window manager environments. Even on my Windows systems, I've tried to now use their Power Toys to set up fancy zones to try to get an effect like this, but it's just not the same as this. This is so lightweight, fast, and efficient. I just absolutely love it. Let's take a look at just how small DWM is. So I have 8 patches applied. Let's take a look at what those are. So that's the 8 patches that I applied on top of DWM base package from Suckless.org. And those are patches that I applied for things that specific functionality that I wanted in the window manager. But let's take a look at how big it is with these 8 patches applied. So my DWM is one binary that is 75K in size. That's just insane. You can install this on very, very low-end hardware and get really, really nice performance out of it. As a matter of fact, the system that I'm using now is a very old 4th generation Core i7 system. Nothing real fancy about it, and this is just running super, super fast. When I change my theme without OBS running, it's almost instantaneous. You see a slight lag here because I'm also recording on the same system, but when I don't have OBS running and I change my theme, it's almost instantaneous. So if you're currently using something like GNOME, KDE Plasma, you might try installing DWM and just taking a look at it. One thing that this does when you set up a system like this, you really learn a lot about the inner workings of a Linux system. You start learning, tips and tricks on how to make shell scripts run faster so that you can, have your theme update as fast as possible. You learn things like awk and sed and grep so that you can get specific information out of files to display in your status bar, to do things like auto update color schemes and configuration files on the fly. You learn a whole lot about how to compile programs. Lots of things that you just would probably never do if you're just working in one of the normal standard de facto desktop environments that a lot of distributions ship with. So I hope you found this video informing. I hope it strikes your interest to maybe try this, learn a little bit more about Linux in your system. And I want to thank you for watching. Take care.